This video is about the famous people and celebrities who passed away in 1982 in the United States. This is the first episode. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Eleanor Powell. She was born in November 1912 and she died in February 1982. Her age was 69 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was cancer. Eleanor Powell was an American dancer and actress, best remembered for her tap dance numbers in musical films in the 1930s and 1940s. She was one of the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's top dancing stars during the golden age of Hollywood. Powell appeared in vaudeville on Broadway and most prominently in a series of movie musical vehicles tailored especially to showcase her dance talents, including Born to Dance in 1936, Broadway Melody of 1938, Roselle in 1937, and Broadway Melody of 1940. She retired from films in the mid-1940s but resurfaced for the occasional specialty dance seen in films such as Thousand Cheer. In the 1950s, she hosted a Christian children's TV show and eventually headlined a successful nightclub act in Las Vegas. She died from cancer at 69. Powell is known as one of the most versatile and athletic female dancers of Hollywood's studio era. In 1935, Powell made the move to Hollywood and showcased her talent in a specialty number in her first major film, George White's 1935 Scandals. However, she later described this experience as a disaster because she was accidentally made up to resemble an Egyptian. Rita Shaw. She was born in September 1912 and she died in January 1982. Her age was 69 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was emphysema. Rita Shaw was an American character actress known for playing strong, hard-edged working women in film and on many of the most popular television programs of the 1960s and 1970s in the United States. She may be best remembered for her housekeeper, Martha Grant, on the television series The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, and as the cook, Mrs. Brill, in the 1964 film Mary Poppins. After attending Leland Power School, Shaw pursued professional theater as a performer, accompanist, musical director, and teacher, including time on the faculty of the Bishop Lee School in Boston and several seasons of summer stock in Malden Bridge, New York. In 1936 and 1937, Shaw spent a year as vocal coach and teaching acting for children at the Studio Theater School in Buffalo, New York, as well as performing with studio theater players in plays including Spring Dance by Philip Barry. She directed the one-act play So's Your Old Antique by Claire Comer for Studio Theater Workshop and also performed on local radio in Buffalo. Shaw subsequently did comedy work in nightclubs and during the Second World War joined the Red Cross Entertainment Unit, serving for 3 years mostly overseas, including 18 months in Iceland. Victor Buono. He was born in February 1938 and he died in January 1982. His age was 43 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Victor Buono was an American actor, comic, and briefly a recording artist. He was known for playing the villain King Tut in the television series Batman from 1966 to 1968 and musician Edmund Flagg in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane in 1962, the latter of which earned him an Academy Award and Golden Globe Award nominations. He was a busy actor from his late teens until his death at age of 43, and with his large size and sonorous voice, he made a career of playing men much older than he was. He started appearing on local radio and television stations and at age 18 joined the Globe Theater Players in San Diego. The director had confidence in Buono and cast him in Volpone, A Midsummer Night's Dream, and other Globe presentations. He received good notices for his various Shakespearean roles and in modern plays such as The Man Who Came to Dinner and Witness, for the prosecution. In the summer of 1959, a talent scout from Warner Brothers saw the heavy-set Bono play Falstaff at the Globe and took him to Hollywood for a screen test. Bono made his first network television appearance playing the bearded poet Bongo Benny in an episode of 77 Sunset Strip. Hans Conried. He was born in April 1917 and he died in January 1982. His age was 64 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. He was an American actor and comedian. He was known for providing the voices for George Darling and Captain Hook in Walt Disney's Peter Pan in 1953, Snidely Whiplash in J. Watts' Dudley Do-Right cartoons, Professor Waldo P. Wigglesworth in Ward's Hoppity Hooper cartoons, was host for Ward's live-action Fractured Flickers show, and Professor Kropotkin on the radio and film versions of My Friend Irma. He also appeared as Uncle Tunus on Danny Thomas's sitcom Make Room for Daddy, twice on I Love Lucy, and as the Mad Hatter, along with Dawes Butler, Dolores Tarr, Stanley Adams, Francis Conde Baxter, and Cheryl Calloway in The Alphabet Conspiracy in 1959. Conried studied acting at Columbia University and went on to play major classical roles on stage. This led him into radio in 1937 when he appeared in a supporting role in a broadcast of The Taming of the Shrew on KECA in Los Angeles, California. Conried's early screen roles were incidental bits, usually comic, but sometimes shady or cowardly, depending on the context. He stayed with the MGM until 1941, then began freelancing. Harvey Lembeck. He was born in April 1923 and he died in January 1982. His age was 58 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Harvey Lembeck was an American comedic actor, best remembered for his role as Barbella on The Phil Silver Show in the late 1950s as the stumbling, overconfident, quasi-outlaw biker Eric Von Zipper in Beach Party films during the 1960s. He also turned into noteworthy performances in both the stage and screen versions of Stalag 17. He was the father of actor and director Michael Lembeck and actress Helene Lembeck. 2 weeks after graduation, Lembeck won the role of Sam Insignia in Mr. Roberts, which he played on Broadway for nearly 3 years. Lembeck made 3 films for 20th Century Fox: You Are in the Navy Now, 14 Hours, and Frogman, all released in the first half of 1951. He went back to Broadway as Sergeant Harry Shapiro in Stalag 17, subsequently played the same role in film version, directed by Billy Wilder, earning the Theatre Honors of America's Laurel Award for Outstanding Comedy Performances and Best Possibility for Stardom. From 1952 to 1954, Lembeck also made 9 other films, mostly playing military stereotypes. Paul Lindy. He was born in June 1926 and he died in January 1982. His age was 55 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Paul Lindy was an American comedian, actor, and game show panelist, a character actor with distinctively campy and snarky persona that often poked fun at his closeted homosexuality. Lindy was well known for his roles as Uncle Arthur on Bewitched, the befuddled Father Harry McAfee in Bye Bye Birdie, and regular center square panelist on the game show The Hollywood Squares from 1968 to 1981. He also voiced animated characters for 5 Hanna-Barbera productions. Lindy regularly topped audience polls of the most liked TV stars and was routinely admired and recognized by his peers during his lifetime. Mel Brooks once described Lindy as being capable of getting laughs by reading a phone book, Tornado Altar, or Seed Catalog. Lindy once said that while he would rather be recognized as a serious actor, we live in a world that needs laughter, and I have decided if I can make people laugh, I'm making a more important contribution. A biography was published in 2005 titled Center Square: The Paul Lindy Story. Lyndon Hopkins, he was born in March 1912 and he died in January 1982. His age was 69 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was esophageal cancer. Lyndon Hopkins was an American country blues singer, songwriter, guitarist, and occasional pianist from Centerville, Texas. In 2010, Rolling Stone magazine ranked him number 71 on its list of the 100 greatest guitarists of all time. Musicologist Robert McCormick opined that Hopkins is the embodiment of the jazz and poetry spirit, representing its ancient form is a single creator whose words and music are one act. He influenced Townes Van Zandt, Hank Williams Jr., and a generation of blues musicians such as Stevie Ray Vaughan, whose Grammy-nominated song Rude Mood was directly inspired by the Texans' song Hopkins' Sky Hope. In his own lifetime, Hopkins was one of the initial inductees in 1980 to the Blues Hall of Fame. Hopkins' style was born from spending many hours playing informally without a backing band. His distinctive fingerstyle technique often included playing in effect bass, rhythm, lead, and percussion. At the same time, he played both alternating and monotonic bass styles, incorporating imaginative, often chromatic turnarounds and single-note lead lines. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.